Hi, I'm Rob, and welcome to L Space Archives. So we have the second part of the book haul that we did last time. We showed just what we got from Uncle Aldo's attic and that amazing box of free books he gave us. But now for the other places we went. So first off, we go every week or every 2 weeks to our local library. They have a section there where they sell books that were donated. Hardbacks are $2, any soft cover, regardless of whether it's mass market or trade paperback, or $1 a piece. And then they have a clearance section that are 10 cents a piece. Then one day a week, they have a buy one, get one free. So basically, you can pick up paperback books for 50 cents a piece, hardbacks for $1 a piece, and the clearance is still 10 cents a piece, regardless of that. So the first thing I picked up was this 4 books. They don't have the book jackets on them, but they are Tom Corbett Space Cadet. We have their Revolt on Venus, and you can see they have these in papers, and they are illustrated. This are juvenile sci-fi series. I already have one of these that has the dust jacket on it. I'm hoping that maybe I might be able to find someone who has or can get me high resolution scans of the original dust jackets, and then maybe that I can reprint them and bring back the original dust jacket covers. I'll pop a screen of what the original covers will look like with the dust jacket. But that is Revolt on Venus. And then we have Danger in Deep Space. Now, I do already have a copy of this book with the actual original dust jacket on it. So I'm hoping that maybe I can find the others and get those covers back to what they would have looked like originally. And this one here is On the Trail of the Space Pirates. And these have illustrations throughout. I won't flip through every single one. And then the last one here is Stand By for Mars. Property of name Alan and Joel. Sorry, I can't read that way. Sherman. Oh, with their phone number. I'm sure they don't have that same phone number now. Then this one also doesn't have a book jacket on it, but it is The Best from Fantasy and Science Fiction, 7th series, edited by Anthony Boucher. But this has Abram Davidson, Arthur C. Clarke, Frederick Brown, G.C. Edmondson, Chad Oliver, Isaac Asimov, Mildred Klingerman, C.M. Kornbluth, Paul Anderson, Fritz Leiber, and a whole bunch of others. So then this is Swan Songs by Brian Stableford. This is the complete Hooded Swan collection. So we have Halcyon Drift, Rhapsody in Black, Promised Land, The Paradise Game, The Fenris Device, and Swan Song. I have some of these in paperback, but I was missing Halcyon Drift, the first book, so it's good to have that whole complete set. So I collect certain biographies of singers and bands. I have one with Led Zeppelin and Queen, but I also am a big fan of B.B. King, and they had this there for $1. The King of the Blues, The Rise and Reign of B.B. King. And also with Billy, the biography of Billie Holiday. That was it for the library. Next, I stopped off at some of the thrift shops and Goodwills. And on that same vein, we have Martini Man, The Life of Dean Martin. I'm a huge Dean Martin fan. I have other books about the Rat Pack, so forth. And then I don't normally get the Reader's Digest collected books, but this cover, how could I resist? A Gothic treasure trove. And this has Victoria Holt, Phyllis A. Whitney, Dorothy Eden, Jessica North, Barbara Michaels. So there are the books that are in here. And again, normally I wouldn't pick up Reader's Digest versions, but how gorgeous is that cover? And it's even the castle on the back, even has a light on. And then also picked up A Pictorial History of Horror Movies. So this is, I should have done a camera down for this, but I will need to do a separate flip through for this one. Alright, let me rearrange and get box 2. Okay, so the rest of these books have been mixed up, so I'm not really sure which ones came from Goodwills, which came from Bookman's, which came from Half Price Books, but they were all fairly inexpensive. So one book I was missing, everybody knows of Glenn Cook's Black Company series, but which I also have, but I've been trying to collect all of his Garrett P.I. novels, which is sort of a fantasy hard-boiled PI story. But the one book I was missing was Wicked Bronze Ambition. This is, I believe it's book number 14 in the series, and it was the only one I was missing, so that one is complete now. This one I do know came from Bookman's. This is The Other World by J. Harvey Bond. And I can't resist just the title and the cover. Roller Coaster World. The world was dying in madness. Parslow's planet was in its death throes, a world of mobile cities. The populace had moved frantically from radiation site to radiation site, for without this life-giving radiation, the inevitable result would be insanity and death. Then we have The Sentinel Stars. It was a world of slaves, sodden and content until one man dared rebel. Now, Brian was recently, over at Bad Taste Books, was recently talking about nurse books, but I have a nurse sci-fi crossover. It is The Adventures of Tara Tarkington. She's out to heal the universe and steal your heart. And a book also I was missing in my Andre Norton collection, Crown Disowned. This is volume 3 of the Circle of Oak, Yew, and Ash and Rowan. And I found one of the other books I recently read, Alexei Panshin's book, one of his first Anthony Villiers novels. And I found another one, Mask World. This was on my list. I believe I found this at Bookman's. Yes. And I also picked up a Benbova as On a Darkling Plain. Surprisingly, in this collection, I have very little Benbova, so picked this one up. This next one comes from a Goodwill. It was probably about $2, $2.50, I'm not sure. But it is Weird Tales collection edited by Marvin Kaye. It is beat up, but that's okay with me. I can't afford the real magazines, so that was a good find. I also picked up The Genesis Machine by James B. Hogan. I have a few other James B. Hogan books, but I did not have the one of them staring at the clipboard. And I think this might be my first Leslie Charteris novel, The Saint and the Sizzling Saboteur. I do like The Saint. I always loved the TV show. And don't see a whole lot of these that are vintage out. You see some of the newer versions, but they're not as much fun. And then I also picked up The Life Ship by Harry Harrison and Gordon R. Dixon. I believe I saw Deb, the Omnivorous Reader, review this not too long ago. So she's an enabler. Then we have another Andre Norton that was on my list that I didn't have, Wizard's World. I am getting down to just about 14 books left in the massive bibliography of Andre Norton that I still don't have, but I am getting closer and closer. We also picked up a Gothic, Waiting for a Tiger, by Ben Healy, a lovely girl on a Mediterranean holiday of terror, romance, daring, unforgettable tension. And An Affair of Sorcerers by George C. Chesbrough. Plenty of action, spine tingling. When danger looms, Mongo stands tall. An angelic little girl lay writhing in hellish agony. A rock superstar was pumping damnation into his veins. A master magician was under a curse more powerful than he, and Mongo himself was assailed by every unholy threat. From a rabidly ravenous creature of darkness to a devilishly seductive strawberry blonde witch to a monstrous machine tooled to imprison him in an eternal night of madness. The octopus of occult evil was larger than life and more terrifying than death, and somehow the world's most extraordinary detective had to measure up. I also picked up an old copy of George Eliot's Silas Marner. I was surprised that I did not already own this. I know I have it in ebook form, but I don't think I have any George Eliot in actual physical form. And I picked up a Samuel R. Delany Driftglass, A Dazzling Journey to the Worlds Beyond 2001. It's like we're living in the future. And these were on my list. I also collect, I collect Alan Dean Foster, and I collect movie tie-in novels. And there is a cross section where those two meet. I already have the novelization of Alien, but now I also have Aliens and Alien 3. Daphne de Maulnahay. Echoes from the Macabre. Tales of Quiet Terror. look at that cover. I do collect her also. I should say me and Mrs. Elspeth both collect her. This is Nora Loft's The Little Wax Doll, a novel of modern witchcraft. It was too good to be true, the position Canon Thorby offered Deborah Mayfield as headmistress in his private school in the picturesque English village of Walwick included a generous salary, a lovely cottage, and even a cat. After 20 years as a missionary in Africa, it seemed that Miss Mayfield had finally found a place to settle. It was too good to be true, for Walwick was not what it appeared to be. The idyllic little village masked a hideous secret, the secret that could destroy the innocent as well as the guilty. Miss Mayfield had no way of knowing that she, too, was about to become a part of that secret. Then we have The Walker in Shadows by Barbara Michaels. It had come from the grave, and it would not return alone. The Walker in Shadows. Like that. Hand coming up out of there. It's a beautiful old house filled with character. Too much character. Then we have Children of the Griffin. An invitation to the devil's holiday traps Beth St. Denis in a world of utter evil. This is another Easy Eye Gothic with the single light on in the tower. And then I had this in ebook, but I do not have it in paperback, I don't believe. Quicker Than the Eye, Ray Bradbury stories. I'm pretty sure I'm getting close to having every Ray Bradbury story by now. Oh, another Andre Norton that was on my list. Echoes in Time. This is part of the Time Trader's Adventures. And I couldn't resist this because he's such a good baby. Ruby Jean Jensen. Jeremy looked human, but he wasn't. Oh, this was also, I forgot, this was also at the library sale too. This was Clive Barker, Magica, Book 2, The Reconciliation. I do not have Book 1, so I will need to hunt that one down. And that is amazing cover art there. And then Devil on My Back by Monica Hughes. Beyond the stifling safety of his domed city, he found an untamed wilderness of freedom and adventure. And we have a Ted Mark spy thriller. I'm not familiar with the Ted Mark series. This is the 9-month caper. Still chasing spies, the man from Orgy goes Latin and winds up in sizzling soup. Then we have The Woman in Black, a ghost story by Susan Hill. We have 3 more in the Stainless Steel Rat series. Stainless Steel Rat Wants You. The Stainless Steel Rat Gets Drafted. And the Stainless Steel Rat Goes to Hell. Then Avram Davidson, Magic for Sale. Glimpses into those mysterious little shops that specialize in the unexpected. A John Dixon Carr, Captain Cutthroat. A couple of Robert Silverberg's here. Shodrick and the Furnace. And At Winter's End. We have another Daphne de Malmahay.
Oh, Malmahay.
Rule Britannia. This is a set in a not too distant future. Then we have The Dark Wood by Christine Weston. Now, this is, despite this amazing inside cover, this is not actually a horror, supernatural, fairy tale of any kind. This is just straight up lit novel. But still, that is beautiful art on the inside. Then we also got this digest, Asimov's Space of Her Own, with stories by female authors. We have a little bit of everybody on there. And I also got a Galaxy Digest with the Power Complex by we have Joe Haldeman, Robert Silverberg, and so on. This is a newer one. This is V. Schwab, City of Ghosts. This is books 1 through 3 in the City of Ghosts trilogy. And also picked up 2 more. I have quite a few of these. I picked up 2 more of the Tom Swift books. We have Tom Swift and His Rocket Ship by Victor Appleton II. This is the new Tom Swift Jr. Adventures. And also Tom Swift and His Diving Seacopter. And the last book we picked up is Robert Sheckley, The Mask of Manana. Which contains a collection of short stories. Okay, so that's everything my voice is giving out. So we will see you next time, when there will probably be more books.